This is exactly how you're going to make your next fight week the easiest fight week you've ever had. I'm a combat sport nutritionist who's helped over 400 athletes make weight over the last 3 years. I've seen the strategies that fighters are using at the moment, and to be honest with you, they're just making their lives a lot harder than it has to be to make weight on fight week. And my job as a nutritionist is to not only get fighters on weight, but to also get them on weight, making their lives easy. I've seen fighters struggle way more than they have to, and what I'm going to do in this video is give you the 5 strategies that I like to use with fighters on fight week to make sure that they're making weight the easiest that they've ever done. So step 1 into making your life easy on fight week is simply upping your calories. What always confuses fighters. I tell them we're going to up their calories on fight week, and they panic and they get scared. And they always text me, are you sure? How's this going to work? But ultimately, when it comes to fight week, we're focusing on reducing total body water. We're not looking at losing body fat. So calories dictate energy balance, which dictates the amount of fat lost or gained throughout a week or a month. The main reason why I put fighters' calories up on fight week is to let their body recover. So they've probably gone through a 7-8 week period where they've been reducing their calories over that time, and that has certain impacts on your body. The main impact is recovery. So your recovery is going to be slightly impaired. By the time you get to fight week, you need to focus on recovery, and getting more calories in is one way that you're going to let your body recover. So upping your calories is essential. Not by a lot, but what I like to do is BMR times 1.3, and that's the amount of calories you need to be on during fight week. Step 2 is eat foods you actually enjoy. Now fight week, obviously we have a lot of restrictions on fight week to make weight, and we can't eat certain foods, but that doesn't mean you still can't eat foods you enjoy. Typically when I speak to fighters, they're eating 1 meal a day. They're lucky if they're scraping past 1,000 calories a day during fight week. Obviously, 1,000 calories a day, you're not going to be eating foods you enjoy. So how can we balance making weight and eating foods that you actually are enjoying on fight week? So some foods that I get fighters to eat on fight week that tick both of these boxes are low carb chocolate mug cakes, ice lollies, dark chocolate peanut butter cups, steaks, burgers. We do try our best on fight week given the limitations. The main reason why this is important is because food equals mood. We can use food as a good tool to boost morale during fight week. Fight week is usually very stressful. Making weight is hard on the body and the mind, and any little wins that we can get during fight week are huge, and food is one tool we can use to do this. Step 3, eat sweets before your training sessions. Now, most likely during fight week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're still going to be training. And Thursday, you're probably going to start the weight cut. And Friday morning, you'll sweat the rest of the weight off. So eating sweets is essential, in my opinion, on fight week. A lot of fighters tell me that they skip them because, again, they're scared to eat them, or they just don't fully believe that they can eat sweets on fight week. Now, it all matters about the timing that you're going to eat these sweets on fight week. The best timing to eat them is around 30 minutes before your training session. I like to give around 30 grams of carbs pre-training. This way, I know that the fighter is going to burn those carbs off in the subsequent session, and they're not going to store these carbohydrates as energy, and it's not going to cause any water retention. It gives them, again, a morale boost. The sweets are going to taste extra sweet on fight week when you've been dropping your carbohydrate intake, and you're actually going to have some energy for your sessions on fight week, which again is crucial to boosting morale and confidence for the fighter to perform at the weekend. Step 4 is cut the right amount of weight. Now this probably should have been first, but I guess it's in no particular order. But you've got to cut the right amount of weight, because if you're cutting too much, you're going to make life hard for yourself. So when it comes to fight week, my personal preference is 8% or below for day before weigh-ins. And then for same day weigh-ins, 3% or below. So you've got to get the right preparation in fight camp to put you in that good position on fight week so that you're not cutting mad amounts of weight. The 5th and final strategy to making your fight week easy is to not come into fight week already depleted. What does this even mean? So I've had it with fighters before where they aren't following the plan properly. Gets to Monday or fight week, we cut carbs, we cut fiber, we cut salt, we've started a water load, and their weight just is not dropping. And again, jump on the phone with them, have a conversation with them. I find out that they've cut carbs 2 weeks before, they've not been putting salt on their meals, they've not been eating vegetables, and they've not been hydrating properly. So they're coming into fight week depleted. Your diet should be high in carbs, high in fiber, adequate sodium, and proper hydration. You've almost got to think of it as a wet sponge. So you want to come into fight week as a wet sponge. Wet sponges have plenty of water in them that you can squeeze out. And that's what we're trying to do on fight week. Squeeze water out of the body. Now, if you're a dry sponge coming into fight week, what water can we squeeze out of you? We're going to really struggle. Dry sponge is when a fighter is, again, following a low carb diet, not having salt, no vegetables, no fiber, not hydrating properly. So it's going to be hard to squeeze that water out of you. So you could almost double the amount of weight you have to sweat in the final 24 hours if you come into fight week depleted. So just please make sure that you're following these 5 steps so that your next fight week is your easiest fight week.